Welcome back everyone. Workbook Solutions, John Donne, Death Be Not Proud. This is video number 1. In today's session, I'm going to discuss 5 very important short answer questions from your Morning Star workbook. In video number 2, I'm going to discuss the rest of the questions, and video number 2 is going to come soon, perhaps tomorrow. Who is the poet addressing in the poem? In what tone is he addressing it? About what he is admonishing it? What is the meaning of admonishing? Rebuking, scolding it. So this is the question. There are 3 subparts and I will discuss the answer in detail with you right now. But before that, a reminder, do check the pinned comment section for all important video links related to your syllabus and kindly subscribe to our channel as well. Workbook Solutions question 1. Who is the poet addressing in the poem? In Death Be Not Proud, John Donne is directly addressing death and also personifies it. This is the first part of the question, first answer of the first subpart. To the point, direct, specific answers. Who is the poet addressing? Poet is addressing death over here, and poet has also personified it. Personification of death. Next, in what tone is he addressing it? Now this question is important. In what tone? He is defiantly addressing it. Point number 1. Defiance, challenging, confronting death. He is defiantly addressing it, urging it not to be proud. Quotation from the text. Textual reference, not and proud. The way he talks about death reveals that he is not afraid of it. Another important part. Defiance, not afraid. He challenges the notion of death's superiority and power. Number 3, challenge. His tone is assertive. Number 4, argumentative. Number 5, and with a voice of absolute authority. Number 6, and also confidence. Number 7. Simply stating, thou art not so mighty and dreadful. Textual references. To deflate its ego, to deflate the ego of death. He uses apostrophe to confront it. Confrontational. Argumentative. Number 8. Dear students, just observe how many points I have incorporated in a single answer. Brief, to the point, specific answer. The question is available and write your answers according to the question available. Defines, not afraid, challenges, assertive, argumentative, absolute authority and confidence, and confronts it. This is how you must practice to frame your own answers. Dear students, these are reference materials. Take help from these reference materials and frame your own answer according to the question available. Now, what is the third subpart? Let me just remind you about what he is admonishing it. Admonishing death, criticizing, scolding death. He paints a picture of death as an arrogant being. So, arrogance of death. Number 1. Who must be humbled? It is a vain and boastful figure. Death that proudly, filled with pride, proudly trades on its reputation as mighty and dreadful to instill a deep-seated fear in mortality, deep-seated fear of mortality in men. Men are always afraid of death. Men are mortals. Therefore, they fear death. They are afraid of death. But the speaker here is not afraid of death. Death believes that it has overthrown people, even the best men. But they have not truly died, and admonishes death by stating poor death. So here, death believes it has overpowered everyone, even the best men, exceptional individuals, but actually they have not truly died, and he admonishes death, rebukes death by stating, poor death, it cannot kill the poet. He questions why it swells with pride. So he questions this, rebukes the quality of death to vainly boast about its pride, superiority and power. This is the answer. And this is 154 words. I think this answer is perfect. Take help from here and frame your own answers. This is an important question. The tone section is very important. Just have a look. I'm just showing the answer once again so that you can take the screenshot. Come on. Take down your notes. So here is the first answer. Quickly moving on to the next question. According to the speaker, how do some people view death? Conventional belief associated with death. For the speaker, how is their viewpoint not correct? Versus the different perspective of the poet, the speaker. Conventionally, some people view death as a powerful and formidable force that commands respect and awe. It is depicted as mighty. Very, very important. This quotation, mighty and dreadful, is important. It is also shown to be a source of fear, anxiety and apprehension. Hence, it is dreadful. Another important textual quotation. Dear students, incorporate textual quotations in your answers and also critical comments. It is inevitable. Everyone is going to die and has the ability to overthrow or defeat individuals. So this is the conventional perspective about death. It is inevitable, inevitability of death, transitory nature of life on earth, mortality of man, and death is powerful and has the ability to overthrow or defeat individuals. This is a conventional belief associated with death. Now, how is this different from the belief of the poet, of the speaker's perspective right now? John Donne challenges the traditional personification of death as a powerful and feared entity. Important. He challenges. The speaker challenges and exposes its illusory power. It's just an illusion. He highlights the powerlessness of death. Death is not powerful. Death is powerless. He asserts that poor death, art not so mighty, has its limitations, is a slave to fate, chance, kings and desperate men, and characterizes death as a slumber, a temporary state of rest or sleep. This section again is important. Try to understand this concept. Illusory, powerlessness of death, hence poor death, hence it is not mighty. Death has its limitations. It is a slave to fate. It depends on external factors like fate, chance, kings and desperate men. Textual references, small quotations from the text. And characterizes death as sleep, as a slumber. What is the meaning of slumber? Sleep. And this is a brief, temporary state of rest or sleep, not permanent. One short sleep. So temporary nature. Death is not eternal sleep. According to the conventional belief, death means eternal sleep. But according to the poet, it is just a temporary state of rest or sleep. It is not a permanent or final cessation. It does not mean the end of your life. After the brief sleep, individuals will wake up eternally. Life after death. And it is not an end, but just a transition, a change. It cannot overthrow individuals or kill the speaker. The soul is immortal. Thus, Donne neutralizes humanity's fear of mortality. Death is nothing to be afraid of. So this is the conflict. Conventional image of death versus the speaker's perspective. It is a transition, a gateway to afterlife, immortality of the soul. Again, this question also is very, very, very important from your examination perspective. A long answer question or a short answer question. And here, again, the word limit is more or less 154, 55 to 160 words. So a little bit of editing and you're good to go. Just go through this reference answer and frame your own. I'm sure you will be able to do that. Introduce critical comments, use textual quotations, quote correctly, change paragraphs, read the question thoroughly, and I'm sure you will do well in your exams. So, these are your last minute suggestion sessions as well. A tip and a trick here and there will help you a lot. I'm sure about that. Question number 3 now. Why does the poet feel that death is arrogant? In Death Be Not Proud, John Donne addresses. Now, before reading the answer, I will remind you one thing. Whenever you are writing the name of a poem or a drama or a short story, always put it within quotes, put the title within quotes or underline it neatly. This is the rule. So here I have put the title within quotes. In Death Be Not Proud, John Donne addresses a personified death, telling it not to be arrogant. It is inevitable, is a universal experience that affects everyone. No matter how admirable or accomplished a person may be, he will eventually succumb to death. What is the meaning of succumb to death? This is perhaps a new term. Dear students, whenever I tell you a new term, study with an open mind. There is no harm in learning new words and expressions. If you do not know the meaning, just go and search. It's there in any of the search engines that you use. Or the dictionary will also be helpful. But always study with an open mind. He will eventually succumb to death. Everyone is going to die. All men are mortal. Hence some people have called thee mighty and dreadful. Learn this quotation. Use this quotation from this poem in your answers. So why is death arrogant? These are the characteristic features of death. Inevitability of death. Universal experience affects everyone. Everyone is going to succumb to death. And death is indeed mighty and dreadful according to some people. Hence, death, because of this power, death is a vain and proud entity who swells with pride and thinks that it has the ability to overthrow or defeat the individuals. Now, this is the perspective of the poet, the speaker. Its arrogance stems from its power to intimidate men, to fill the minds of men, hearts of men with fear. Fill them with fear and anxiety. It has an inflated sense of self-importance. Inflated. I am so great. I am so powerful. Claiming to be a final cessation of life on earth. So, According to some people, according to death, if a person dies, then it means a full stop. His existence on earth comes to an end. And this means pangs of separation. This means unfulfilled dreams. This means hopelessness, sadness, grief, and eternal separation from loved ones as well. However, the speaker exposes its illusory power and grandeur, although for generations people have feared it. According to the poet, according to the speaker, after death comes afterlife. So death is not the end. Death is just the temporary end of your life on earth. After death comes afterlife. And what does this prove? Afterlife? Immortality of the soul. Soul is immortal. Men are mortals, but soul is immortal. Immortality of the soul. So dear students, this is your concept. Clear your concept. So this is the answer as well. Just I'll show it to you once again. Morning Star Workbook Solutions. This is the answer. Quickly moving on to question number 4. Why has the death been described in the poem as poor? Again, important question. Which literary device is used by describing death in this manner? In Death Be Not Proud, the speaker scornfully admonishing, rebuking, scornfully important, states that contrary to the conventional belief that death is mighty and dreadful, death is actually poor. See, mighty and dreadful versus poor death. Mighty and dreadful death versus poor death. Conventional image versus speaker's perspective. He accuses death of having illusions of grandeur. I am the best. Illusions of grandeur and power. He claims that while death thinks that it has the power to overthrow or kill, it actually does not. Hence, the speaker calls it poor death to humiliate it and expose its powerlessness. Here, he assumes a position of one who must humble it and deflate its sense of self-importance. Okay, you are powerful, but you are not the best. Come on. Understand this. This is how the speaker is confronting death. It sounds almost as if he is making fun of its illusory power. Now, this is the first part of the question, poor death. Why poor death? Because actually it is powerless. This is the first part of the question. And now, apostrophe, figure of speech. The poet uses apostrophe to neutralize humanity's deep-seated fear of mortality. The speaker is challenging death using the Christian theology of eternity, important concept, to taunt death, taunting, rebuking death. It is not human beings who are the subject of pity, but death itself deserves that denigration. Ish, Chichi, you are not at all the best. Come on. Don't be sad, death. You are just powerless, as if taunting death. Personification is also used here. The speaker is doing all the talking. Death cannot respond to the accusations of the speaker. Therefore, apostrophe as well as personification. I have mentioned both so that if you want, you can choose and frame your own answer regarding this. So, apostrophe is used throughout the poem. And poor death, personification is also used. Death is personified and there is apostrophe. So this is another important question. Christian theology of eternity. Immortality of the soul, afterlife. Concept of afterlife. This is the answer. Come on. Just have a quick look. Now, question number 5. But dear students, subscribe to our channel, stay connected, tap the bell icon because soon I'm going to upload video number 2 as well. Questions 6, 7, 8, 9. Let me see how many I can solve for you. Question 5. A. Explain the meaning of the following: rest of their bones and soul's delivery. So this is explanation. Death is inevitable. It does not discriminate based on merit, status or achievements. The best men do go with death. They succumb to it. However, death is not the end, but a release or a liberation of the physical body. It means the death of the physical body of man. Life on earth comes to an end. And also deliverance of the soul to afterlife. Concept of afterlife is significant. So I am underlining the key words and expressions, dear students, the key concepts as well. Exceptional individuals are chosen by God to experience the peaceful rest of death sooner without having to endure, tolerate, bear the agonies, the sufferings of a long life on the earth. Death is a form of transition from, important, very, very important. Come on, learn this ditto from here. Transition from earthly life to eternal life in heaven. The expression soul's delivery suggests the immortality of soul. The passing of soul. This is the symbolism, immortality of soul. And which figure of speech is used in the above line? The line, rest of their bones and soul's delivery, is an example of a metaphor. What is the meaning of metaphor? We all know metaphor means comparison between two different things, and the comparison is not direct. So here we have a metaphor. But more specifically, it is identified as euphemism, another figure of speech. What is the meaning of euphemism? Just, I have attached the meaning. It's there on the screen. The expression employs metonymy. So we have euphemism, we have metonymy, as bones is used to represent the physical remains of a person. And soul's delivery means a metaphor for passing of the soul from the body to afterlife. So these are the figures of speech over here. So dear students, there are so many questions left. Don't forget to tune in as soon as I upload the second video. Till then, take care and bye.